In Caitlin Clark's Time magazine interview, she discussed some of the most controversial topics, including her Olympic snub, being targeted in the WNBA, and the infamous eye poke saga. So let's talk about it.
Have you heard what Caitlin Clark just revealed about the WNBA? She's not holding back anymore. In a bombshell interview, Clark opened up about everything, from the infamous eye poke incident to her Olympic snub. Known for letting her game do the talking, Clark's rare moments of candor are nothing short of explosive. Silent, focused, and razor-sharp, she's the kind of athlete who speaks only when it truly matters. And when she does, the world listens. Her status as a phenom is no secret, and winning the Athlete of the Year award has only cemented her legacy.
WNBA sensation Caitlin Clark has scored numerous honors for her skills on the court, and now she can add another title after an incredible rookie season, Time's 2024 Athlete of the Year.
Clark's rookie season with the Indiana Fever was one for the history books. She shattered 6 rookie records for points and assists, broke 4 franchise records, and set multiple all-time WNBA records, including an unbelievable 19 assists in a single game. But it was during a Time magazine interview that Clark finally addressed the controversies surrounding her rookie year. From the first game to the last, she left nothing unsaid, starting with how the media spins the narrative of her being targeted.
Now, we saw throughout the WNBA season how physical the game was, and there were multiple points in the year where she was pushed, shoved, thrown to the ground. A lot of things happened, and the interviewer here specifically asked her about the incident between her and Kennedy Carter.
Remember the Kennedy Carter incident? It was the talk of the league. During a heated game between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky, Clark was shoved on the court and called a vicious name. The incident had everyone buzzing.
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary?
But Clark's response will shock you. She's not playing the victim. Instead, she said,
I never thought I was being targeted. Obviously, that shouldn't ever happen within a game, but basketball is physical. Your emotions can get the best of you. My emotions have gotten the best of me at many times.
Can you believe it? Despite all the rough play, Clark isn't crying foul. She embraces the physicality of the game, even putting herself in Kennedy Carter's shoes. She admits that emotions can run high for any player, herself included. In a game against the Seattle Storm, she found herself in a similar heated moment. Clark doesn't think she's being singled out. To her, the physical play is just part of the game. It's like she's saying, "Bring it on." This perspective is reshaping how we view toughness in the WNBA. And what about Angel Reese's reaction during that push incident? Reese actually clapped and seemed thrilled. Clark's take on it? Surprisingly level-headed. She said,
From the bench, she said, I don't even know if she really knew what happened. Honestly, I don't think she was cheering because somebody hit me. I really don't think that would be the case, and I hope it's not.
Clark's not stirring up drama or jumping to conclusions. She's keeping it real. But that doesn't mean she's letting everyone off the hook. She's calling out all those armchair experts who criticize without even watching the games. In her words,
And also said a lot of people that wanted to have opinions on what was happening probably didn't even watch half the games that they were trying to have a take on and hadn't supported the W for a really long time.
Clark isn't afraid to put so-called experts in their place. She's calling out bloggers and TikTokers who know nothing about basketball but still feel entitled to share their opinions. Ironically, most of them haven't even watched a full WNBA game.
There was a lot of even like political outlets that were taking some of these videos and trying to comment on them or share their opinions on them. And some of these political news people don't know a thing about sports. So just honestly, to me, it was comical sometimes seeing some of these political pundits like trying to commentate a game. It was bad. It was all bad. So I get what she's saying in that sense.
Let's be honest, some moments in games do look blatant enough to be considered targeted. Certain pushes can't be ignored. Clark's stance on game physicality is straightforward but powerful. The game's physical. I just go about it. Her no-nonsense attitude is redefining toughness in women's basketball. Instead of complaining about the rough play, she's stepping up to the challenge.
She's like, hey, the game's physical, I just go about it. And I think that that's the mentality that she needs to have.
But brace yourself, because Clark's not done dropping truth bombs. Her comments on the Olympic snub are sparking a whole new controversy. Remember that game where she dominated so thoroughly that everyone assumed she was a lock for the Olympics? Well, it turns out that performance sealed her fate in a way no one saw coming. And Clark's reaction? It's not what you'd expect from the WNBA's brightest new star.
So she had 7 3-pointers and a 30-point game in a Fever victory. And she said that she was on the bus. She texted her agent that she hoped that that performance helped her case to make the Olympic team for Paris. And Clark's agent responded immediately and said, I have to call you. And when Caitlin got that text, she's like, oh, damn, I must have not gotten it.
Clark was on top of the world after that game, so confident she texted her agent right away. She thought she'd secured her ticket to Paris, but then came the message that changed everything. She didn't make the cut. You'd expect anger or bitterness, right? Not from Clark. Instead, she owned up to her early struggles, admitting that her rough 3-10 stretch with the Indiana Fever gave the selectors plenty of reasons to pass her over.
So she's talking about early in the season that she didn't start out that strong. However, I would disagree. Like, she definitely had a few games where her turnovers were really high, and the Fever were definitely on a losing streak. Although their schedule was stacked, they were playing tough teams. They were playing back-to-backs. There was a lot, like, the cards were stacked against them early in the season. And she didn't play as well as she did in the second half of the season.
That kind of accountability is rare for a star player. And what about the veterans who made the team? Clark's not throwing shade. She understands why they were chosen. These are Hall of Famers and seasoned pros. As Clark herself puts it,
she said at the same time she understood the decision. The 12 players selected included many Hall of Famers and Olympic veterans. A point everybody was making was like, who are you taking off the team, Clark said.
It's a fair point. And all the talk about Clark bringing attention to women's basketball? She's not having any of it. She doesn't want a spot on the team because of her popularity. She wants to earn it with her skills.
She said, I don't want to be there because I'm somebody that can bring attention. I love that for the game of women's basketball, but at the same time, I want to be there because they think I'm good enough. I don't want to be some little person that is kind of dragged around for people to cheer about and only watch because I'm sitting on the bench. That whole narrative kind of upsets me because that is not fair. It's disrespectful to the people that were on the team that had earned it and were really good. It's also disrespectful to myself.
Clark's message is clear. She's not interested in being a media darling. She fears the narrative that she's only there for the hype, and she's determined to go to Paris based on merit, not buzz. It's a bold stance, but her stats back it up. By the end of the season, she was third in MVP voting, won WNBA Rookie of the Year, and shattered 64 records. What's next for Caitlin Clark? Will she dominate the WNBA, make the Olympic team, or redefine the game entirely? One thing's for sure, the basketball world will be watching,